is time for another edition of Ring Rust Retro. This time, we're Dante Rodriguez. He made this happen. But since he was forced to forfeit the drinking contest to Mike Chiari because he could not attend, Mike Chiari wagered...
I still earned it. I had like 15 beers.
Yeah, you lost to everyone, though, because everyone in the whole entire room called you a fucking piece of shit, essentially.
Yep.
Well, they all felt comfortable enough with me to rib me, and then we all had a great laugh afterwards. They all loved me. They loved me.
A rib.
That's fun. It's fun. You can write the word in any font you want, but it still says you got owned. Okay?
Times New Roman.
No, you were like, you're a Comic Sans mother. Yeah, you got it, PG. He's a Comic Sans motherfucker, dude. Yeah, take it easy, Mark. But no, seriously, we're doing Southpaw Regional Wrestling. Mike Chiari chose this. We did all 4 episodes of Southpaw. And you know what, PG, before we get into this... More. Yeah, I wish there were more too, but no, I kind of don't in the same way because I know it would have been ruined. As soon as Vince knew this was happening, he would have gotten his dirty hands on it. Why is this Fandango guy anywhere near John Cena? Get him out of here. So
he kind of loved Fandango for a time, though.
It was only a minute. I think he thought he was somebody else, in my opinion. But we got an intro theme. Let's do it.
I dedicate this to the throwbacks. Like Cena's shirt in 06, ECW, one night stand, I won't hold back. Like Taker and Batista battle in the backlash, 07 to one-man stands. We'll bring it back to the days of Lord Alfred Hayes, Hall and Nash and Blade, Hollywood drops the leg. They say the days of old are the best though. That's why we bring to you Ring Rust Retro. Let's go.
Alright guys, Southpaw Regional Wrestling. BG,
who did that theme, Donnie? Who did that?
Easy B, man. Easy B is the king of themes. But right, BG, tell us about how people can get involved with Retro.
Patreon.com/RingRustRadio. Donate to the Retro tier and email us, ringrustradio@yahoo.com. And we'll review pretty much any show we can get our hands on at this point.
That is wrestling related in some form or fashion.
I don't even know at this point if it is.
No, I'd like to. We have to have like one rule. You know, so it's
That's
not
true. It's like nicknames for emails. Has to be related to wrestling.
Yeah.
I don't know. You want the chaperone, so it's like, hey, if Triple H's starring in it, go ahead.
Yeah, and he's wrestling related because he's a wrestler.
It's like we should be reviewing Boy Meets World when Vader and Mankind are on.
Okay, again, these are wrestling related things. I'm not just going to do some random episode of fucking Seinfeld unless
I think that would be great radio.
Unless there's a wrestler involved, then I would watch it. So. Here's your challenge. Then pay the money, bitch. But we're doing Southpaw Regional Wrestling today. You know what? Let's start it off with Tex Ferguson. No better place than with the Texmon. So for those who don't know, Southpaw Regional Wrestling, go on WWE's YouTube page. Look it up. If you have not seen this, you're missing, honestly, the best content WWE's put out in recent months. It's a 4-part. They're like 8 minutes apart, piece.
Less.
It's a spoof.
They're like...
Yeah. It's a spoof
5 to 7 minutes.
It's a spoof about a late 80s wrestling federation, a wrestling territory, putting on their own show.
In Alabama.
And so it starts, just the intro to Southpaw is great, because it's a fucking VCR and someone putting in lost footage.
Yes.
The VHS tape.
And if as somebody who went through and watched every pay-per-view on the network throughout the 80s, every single pay-per-view, for the AWA, through all of that, this is so well done. This is done by people who truly love that 80s wrestling style. Because the graphics, even the way the film is done, it looks like it's from VHS. There's random scratches in between. It goes all wonky every once in a while. It is so well done. And hats off to whoever came up with this idea, because everybody deserves a ton of credit. Everyone acting, the production team who put it together, the idea makers. This is ingenious, and it truly is.
What happens when you get away from Kevin Dunn? This is what they
you come up with.
Isn't this Andy and Big Gal's creation though?
No,
am I making that up?
The character Sex Ferguson.
Yeah, Sex Ferguson.
Luke Gallows.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, but this is honestly just because Jericho is heavily involved, Cena's heavily involved. These guys know the business, know that idea of the territory days, and like I said, as soon as
Jericho worked them, Jericho worked fucking Smoky Mountain, which essentially was like a '90s version of that.
It was a modern day territory essentially. Tex Ferguson shows up. He's leaning on his Firebird, and he's got on
Ribera Steakhouse.
He's got a Ribera Steakhouse shirt. He's got
great intro theme.
He's got sunglasses. Yes. Oh my god, it's so 80s.
There's a star on his dick.
Yeah.
Why is this not his character?
I don't know.
Why is this not it?
It should be both of theirs. Tex Ferguson is what I've always wanted to be in life. He's got snakeskin boots.
I know he is.
And the best is he's talking shit.
It's from a baby crocodile, not from Snake.
Baby crocodile, that's right. He's talking shit on Chad Too Bad, and he said, "I'm gonna make you count the lights, cowboy." And then we get a triple spit take, which I love so much. Oh, okay. Did you know John Cena is at the announce table with Fandango as a drunk guy?
You mean Lance Catamaran and Chet Cheddarfield?
Well, yes, Lance Catamaran. Yeah. Did you know he spent 6 weeks working in Utica?
I did.
If you didn't, you will all the time.
Did you know Chet Cheddarfield looks like me at hour number 5 of Ring Rust Radio?
With that hair, with that lack of hair, you're ripping it out?
It just goes, yes, I am.
We skipped over the reveal for Chad Too Bad. Of him just, like, popping out from, like, below. Like, of nowhere, of him and his fucking laugh.
Oh, no, it looked
like...
He has a full video package later in the episode.
Yeah, I was going to talk about Chad Too Bad when he talks about Deuce in just a few minutes. We cut to Jericho. He's Clint Bobsky, who is an old school announcer. He's got the fantastic over-the-top jacket.
Harry Carey glasses.
It wasn't Captain Lou. He's kind of like that. Sir Oliver Humperdinck.
That was Bam Bam's manager.
Do you remember what he would wear? That's what he looked like here. That's what I felt like. I was like, he's just being that total manager guy from the fucking 80s.
Or like fucking Michael PSA who's wearing a curtain.
But I still feel like even though Jericho is making jokes, he's still better dressed than Michael PSA's.
Yeah, slightly.
TJ Perkins is the champion, and Clint Bobsky's interviewing him, and he's a charisma vacuum here, and they just make fun of him for it the whole time.
I was going to say, who's more charismatic, John Johnson or TJ Perkins?
TJ Perkins, because he's got an intro theme that I like. That's
so
literally
Did you see Ride Along with Rich Swann asking TJP about John Johnson?
Yes.
No,
so good.
He kayfabed him.
Yeah, TJP basically starts off like, wait, what are you talking about? And then he goes, John Johnson. You ever hear him? He goes, oh yeah, John Johnson. He was awesome at Lethal Leap Year. which never even happened.
It never happened! Holes! It's like Swiss cheese arguments. Chet Cheddarfield is 42-year-old Mike Chiari. I just wrote that down.
It's real.
It is. It really is. You just gotta lose that hair.
If we're still doing this fucking show by the time I'm 42 years old, that will be me.
You're gonna blame it on Ring Rust Radio, but I'm gonna blame it on alcoholism.
Yeah.
No, that's what gets me through.
Okay, yeah, that's what an alcoholic says. He looks for excuses to defend his fucking addiction. Chad,
so a couple things here.
Okay, go
Donnie, go ahead, and then I got something too.
The belt, the championship belt of this promotion, is like something you get in like a fucking McDonald's Happy Meal.
No, it looks. I literally was at a flea market Friday, and they had one of those for $4. It's just a literal old weird title belt that's
made of styrofoam.
It's gold plastic with a literal black belt underneath it. It's fantastic, and Jack Johnson left it in the locker room.
And then every time, so cutting to John Johnson and cutting away, Catamaran always has to say how charismatic John Johnson is. It's so funny.
Donnie, you need a little more charisma.
You need more charisma, kid. And then they cut back to
I don't know if you have what it takes.
They cut back to Cheddarfield, or they cut back to Clint Bobsky, and he's like, I don't know if this kid's got it. He's like, I don't know. He's boring as shit. I can't handle it.
He won't let John Johnson hold the mic.
Yeah, he's like, kid, you don't have to hold the mic. I hold the mic. That's my job.
He's cursing.
Yeah.
When they cut back to them, he's just cursing.
He's like, whoa. And then every time anyone curses, they cut to the screen and says, hang in there. We're having technical difficulties, or give us 5. And it's a typical 80s fucking thing. It's all the little shit. It's so good. I remember watching the old AWA pay-per-view, and they went to intermission for whatever. What was it? Super Brawl. What was it? Was it Super Brawl? What was their called?
Super Brawl is
Super Slam.
But the AWA had a super clash or something like that. AWA.
I think that might have been it.
And it was an intermission on one, And it was literally just like a picture of, what the hell was the dude's name in Reddit? Why am I blanking on his name?
Vern Gagne?
Vern Gagne, and just him standing there like in a wrestling pose. And it was like legit 7 minutes of that. I was like, what is happening on my screen? So
this has the best cutaway because it's a Ric Flair paid impersonator.
Oh, yeah. By the way, he's paid $500 for this. That's what it probably costs, because that's how much it would cost us to have him on the show, $500.
That's true.
So if you want to donate $500, we'll get Ric Flair on the show.
That's a tier.
That should be a legitimate tier. Chad Too Bad, and we get a promo for him here.
Minnesota Viking Zubaz. Amazing.
He calls himself Chad Too Bad. He says he's got a beautiful green jacket. And
Chad Too Bad's green jacket equals Kevin Nash's sweatpants.
It really is. It really is. And then Chad Too Bad's catchphrase, you got some bad deuce coming your way. And I absolutely love that, dude. Okay.
Incredible. I want him in current day WWE.
I really do. Ric Flair pretending to be not Ric Flair is my favorite Ric Flair role ever. I like how this was. I guarantee KFC paid for this. We want something to go viral because that's what everybody wants, that viral hit. And you know what? This was awesome. They did a great job. I bet you this cost them less than the people advertising during Raw.
Yeah,
and it was better.
And I bet you it was better and got more notoriety than anything advertised during Raw ever.
Yep.
So, Big Bartholomew. They cut a.
This is episode 2.
Well, yeah.
Oh, okay.
Before we get to Big Bar, we're going into episode 2.
Okay.
They're promoting Lethal Leap Year, and you can only get tickets at Rusty's Pool Hall.
Yes, yes. And the graphic cuts over top of Catamaran.
Always.
It's always on top, and it's just laid over the screen, which is exactly how they would do this kind of shit.
Yeah.
It's unbelievable. I love it. Big Bartholomew, which is Rusev, and they throw to him. And he's got a big match against the Banker coming up, and that's what they're talking about. And they cut to Rusev, and they're like, "Well, he
gets his hands real deep inside his overalls."
He does, and then Clint Bobsky's like, "Are you excited?" He's like, "What are you going to do to him?" He's like, "Yup." And then he just sells it the first time. And then they're like, "What do you think? He's going to take your farm?" And he's like, this is quote for quote. Back in the 1900s, they worked for their chickens. We eat the chickens. That's
they work hard for the chickens. He was so close to bursting out laughing.
He did.
He did.
Later when he yells about, "Oh God, it's the devil!" So they're just, and then, so after Big Bartholomew, we cut to a promo for a new tag team appearing in, what is it?
Southpaw
Regional Wrestling. Southpaw. And it's the surf dudes with attitudes. It's the Ascension, but they're dressed as like 80s surf dudes in front of a green screen of waves.
God. Luscious chest hair close-ups.
Yes.
Galore. Who the fuck are the Ascension? Get these guys on SmackDown right now.
I know. Better than anything that they've ever done.
Real quick, I need some insight on this. What's the problem? What do you were a dude with attitude. Like, what do you think? These guys are J-Brones. These guys are J-Brones. Although, you know what? He's kind of handsome, this one. You talking about Victor? Yeah. Okay, Big Johnny is crushing on Victor. Who knew?
This is probably Cena ribbing Johnny Ace.
I'd swallow his cock. Nope, that's him. Nope, that's him. That's Johnny Ace for sure.
Heyo.
Have a seat, man. Okay,
hanging 10 and highing 5.
Yeah, yes, exactly. Hard and scared. Holy fuck moment, because the Banker bought the farm? Guys, just for the record.
Best fucking heel in the business, by the way.
Yep.
Tyler Breeze, Mr. McElroy.
Okay, this is an actual point I have to make here. One of the reasons why I found this so awesome with this Banker story is because if you remember the mid-'80s, that was Farm Aid, and that was, all the people in the Midwest were starting to lose their farms. In the Bible Belt, there were a lot of foreclosures and stuff like that. You remember Farm Aid? John Cougar Mellencamp and Neil Young and shit? That was huge in the 80s.
Yeah, like We Are the World?
It's kind of, but instead of helping kids from Africa, it's helping farms in the United States. And basically, this was around that time. So him buying up the farm is literally the perfect storyline for the mid-'80s in a rural community. This is so perfect. Southpaw Regional Wrestling, always so topical and real with the storyline.
Finger on the pulse every time.
They really, you know what the best part is? The people who wrote this took that much time to find a story that was relevant in like 86 or 87, whenever this was. Yet we can't get storylines that are topical in 2017 until months later. But whatever.
I was going to say the best part is his mustache. He has to keep.
Yes, he does have to
the
keep
entire promo.
Yes, that is awesome.
Flying all over the place. Before this promo, though, we have Chet Chatterfield just screams out, "Susan, call me back."
Yeah, he does. He's, by the way, Chet Chatterfield the whole time drinking brown liquor and smoking a pipe.
Dipping his pipe into the liquor.
Into the liquor and drinking it. So, hey, that's one way to cool off. Cena references Utica again.
Yeah.
It's nonstop. It's like a 6-week run in Utica. And it goes back to... Chet Chatterfield is crying. When Chet Chatterfield cries, he starts breaking down. This is Mike Chiari at 42 years old after Susan leaves him.
Yeah.
After Mike Chiari's
godforsaken show.
Once Mike Chiari finds a woman, falls in love with her, marries her, and then Ring Rust Radio drives her away from him, this will be him.
Catamaran says that he hears it quite a bit that Susan left Chatterfield for the gardener at their farm. Like you said, the episode ends, Chatterfield crying, and Catamaran telling him to get himself together. What a great ending.
Is that the end of the second one?
That's the end of episode 2.
Okay, I don't know where this...
episode 3
starts with Pelvis
Wesley.
With impressive Pelvis Wesley.
Oh, and it's loads of dick close-ups. This was almost exclusively dick close-ups.
Irate.
He is. He's like, this is making me feel things in my loins that I wasn't prepared for.
This is awesome!
Yeah, that's what he's saying to dick close-ups. He's like, you can't get much gayer than that, huh? Huh? Fuck you, Vince Russo.
And then Lance Catamaran talks about rock and roll, and then Chet Chatterfield goes, under his breath, damn hippies.
He does say damn hippies.
That hit too. Remind me of South Park.
Yeah, remember that? When the hippies were like, buy some change, buy some change.
Oh, that's a different episode.
That's hippie.
Homeless.
Oh, that's homeless. There's really no difference. Oh, and by the way, the hippie episode is amazing too, because how do you get rid of hippies? Slayer. You gotta get that Slayer in there. You gotta get Raining Blood. Yes, of course.
So good.
Okay, what's next?
Well, we have a promo for La Barbara Grande.
Who is it? That's my question.
Be in the Battle Royal. Who is it? Cesaro.
It's Luke Harper. That's what I was told by the internet.
Oh, I thought it was Cesaro.
It was Luke Harper? See, I didn't know who it was.
The internet told me it was Luke Harper. I looked it up.
All I know is I need him in Lucha Underground.
Yeah, because he's más rápido. Even though he can barely run, and they say it as he can barely run.
Yes, and that is...
It's like how Michael Cole says Braun Strowman's the fastest man alive.
That's true.
That is... I don't understand the joke. Tex is GOAT, shitting on Mr. Too Bad's jacket and girlfriend. He's like, you're talking about... Whatever... Do you remember what her name was? Did you write down? He's like, you're talking about April... You know what April gave me? A son with my looks and a case of herpes or whatever he said.
You did not say that.
It was close. That's what I took it as. He then blames Freddie Blassie for taking out his eye and Greg Valentine for killing his arm for 2 hours in a trailer.
Don't forget Bad News Allen did one of his eyes and then Freddie Blassie did the other one. With his filed down teeth. Amazing. Free pancake breakfast and air conditioning.
And free parking. Complimentary.
Leap year sounds like ESW. JK, there's no air conditioning at ESW.
Honestly, when he said air conditioning, that was the most unbelievable part of this whole thing.
Yeah, it didn't ring true to me.
No, ECW Arena literally still doesn't. I mean, now it may. I'm not sure. They've done a bunch of upgrades, but until just recently, that was a fucking literal cinder block death house. Third best contract signing in wrestling history, Big Bart, doing it all for the southern countries.
Yes! Dr. Craig Armstrong.
Nice guy.
Dr. Craig Armstrong Smith III crafted the contract, the commissioner of Southpaw Regional Wrestling.
He signs the back of it.
He didn't read it. He didn't read the contract.
No, he didn't read it.
An issue.
He didn't even sign it where you should. He's like, he signed the back of it. He's like, no. Jericho's like, Bobsky's like, you gotta sign the front, kid. And he's like, USA, and then walks away.
And then Bobsky goes, the banker is also from USA.
Yeah, this is where we meet. This is where we meet Rusev's, Big Bart's mentally challenged cousin, who cannot.
Yikes.
I mean, that's what she was.
How dare you slander Christian Joy?
You did not get that vibe, did you?
No.
Wow.
No.
Watch it again.
Nope.
The banker's mustache. He still can't get it, and then the hair goes in front of his eyes. He's having trouble with his hair.
Wait, we're on to episode 4 now.
We're on to episode 4.
Okay. See, I didn't.
The start.
I just went through and took.
Yeah, you fucked up.
Starts with the sea creature.
No.
The biggest swerve in wrestling history.
Unbelievable fucking twist.
Who's the sea creature? That's what I wrote here.
No one knows.
Strowman.
No, it was smaller than that. I thought this was
no one
Cesaro.
knows. There's no
Giant
credit.
Gonzalez.
Sheamus.
There's no credit for the sea creature. But Big Bart's reaction to the news is priceless.
Oh my god. Rusev, they come back there, he's like, oh Lord, it's the devil!
That's it. That's the whole thing.
He literally, they just cut back, they cut to him, he's already screaming, but he also looks like he's laughing, and they just look like that you cut to a party, and he's like, oh Lord, it's the devil! Then we cut back to Tex Ferguson, who's now cutting a promo on Chad Too Bad. And up comes Chad Too Bad. But don't forget, Tex Ferguson had both of his eyes taken out and his arms dead.
A la Raven and Sandman.
Yeah, so
Angle.
he comes up, he's blind. Chad Too Bad starts yelling in his face, and Tex Ferguson looks at the camera and he's like, guys, cut! I got Chad Too Bad in my right ear. We gotta go again. And
We're live, pal.
We're live, pal. But they keep saying to him, he's like, guys, and then fucking Chad Too Bad leaves. And he's like, we're gonna have to start from the top. I heard the whole time I had Chad Too Bad in my ear.
And he goes, we're never gonna be able to compete with Vince if we don't up our production values.
Then they cut back, and, Clint, Lance
Catamaran.
I don't know their names. Cena's there, and they're having technical issues to where you can hear Tex Ferguson in the background talking the whole time. And he's like, are you hearing that? Are you fucking hearing that? Fix this! And John Cena goes heel for the first time in years. But just like in reality, he immediately regrets it and uses his clap to stay face.
Well, he has a fucking
now.
breakdown.
Yeah,
and they cut to the back in 5 graphic with 2 hands high-fiving each other. It's so funny. It's so cheesy and great. I think we passed over the Ric Flair. The Ric Flair impersonator, paid impersonator. And he's talking about how some of the superstars, after Lethal Leap Year, they'll be at the local KFC. And he goes, you can get one of them to sign your rapper. If you ask politely. Yeah. The best part, he's like, the real Ric Flair wouldn't do this.
$500.
He's like, Ric Flair's like, he would not do this. He would not work with he said Southpaw couldn't afford him.
Yeah.
It's so funny, dude. Because all of this is real. That's how territories work. You just pay the bit. It's still like that in indies. The indie wrestling has become the new territory wrestling. You pay the big guys to come in, to put people in the seats, and you put over your younger guys in the time while they're there. And that's exactly what they did here. It's so funny. And yes, as we learn live on air, that this year is not a leap year.
There's no fucking leap year.
There's no leap year. The pay-per-view.
Lance Catamaran goes absolutely ballistic off camera. You just hear him, and then you just see Chet Shetterfield on the screen now. And his state of confusion is just perfect. I just can't believe, it's like Dylon, just can't believe what's happened.
5. There's 5 better rappers than Dylon spit out fire. Dylon, I spit out fire. But yes, dude, the story of No Lethal Leap Year, and the best part is the weeks following this, you saw in SmackDown Raw crowds. We want lethal leap year. We want all these Southpaw regional wrestling. We were at that Beyond Wrestling show, and the dude walked right by us with the Southpaw shirt on. I was like,
that was
oh,
amazing.
dude. And it was like right after that happened.
Yeah, that was the best show. I mean, that was the best shirt that we saw all weekend.
By the way, we can relate to this whole situation because Donnie, he once booked an interview on a leap year when there wasn't one. Ask Charlie Haas about that.
It was a
February 29th.
It was a leap hour. You know what I mean? And also, we got stood up by many of the people. Don't forget, people had to go to work instead of talk to us. I don't know. Is that it for... by the way, Ric Flair did a little thing at each one of the ends of these. Go support KFC. If they paid for this, you need to get some of that. Woo, crispy. Woo, cheesy. Woo, chicken.
It's not cheesy.
Oh,
it ain't cheesy.
Woo, tangy. I don't know. I'm on a diet. I can't go there, so I'm very angry. I had to, fast forward that part of it.
It's such a sad death to Southpaw Regional Wrestling.
I hope they figure it out.
Not gonna lie, this hurt way more than when WCW died.
That's incorrect. It felt like... Shut up. Okay, is that it? Did you guys love this? Out of 10, what'd you give it?
11.
Infinity.
Because, my dial.
I heard that!
My dial
it goes to 11 instead of 10.
Yeah,
well, you know what? PG, why don't you just make 10 the loudest and make it a little bit louder?
No, my dial goes to 11.
Okay, that's inadvertently you actually got part of the quote right from Spinal Tap, so I'll give you half credit.
I haven't seen that movie in so long.
It's such a good movie. It's such a goddamn good movie. But seriously, I love this. This was fantastic. I watched this with my wife, and she didn't make it through Jetsons. She made it through all of this, and she loved this.
It's quick. Anyone, listen, we're not lying.
45 minutes,
you have 20 minutes, you can go watch the whole thing. It's fucking amazing, and it's better than anything you're going to see on WWE television or anywhere else at this point.
Besides
Lucha.
It's not better than Lucha. Yeah.
I said besides Lucha.
Okay. Fair.
Yeah.
And Lucha's not available right now.
It is on Netflix if you want to catch up on season 1 and 2.
That is damn true.
And Mikey, have you gone back and watched all the episodes you missed?
Those 2? Not yet.
Wow, it almost seems like you don't care.
Yeah.
Oh, I care.
It almost seems like you're less of a fan than us. You're less.
No, I feel like the longer I hold out, the more and more jealous you guys get because
it's like tantric sex. It's like tantric sex. You fucking don't come for so long that when you come, it's like you feel it in your toes and shit.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, good, great stuff. All right, guys, thank you so much, BG. This is Dante Rodriguez. Thank you so much, Dante, for making this happen. But BG, how can people get involved?
Patreon.com/ringrustradio. Donate to the retro tier. Email us, ringrustradio@yahoo.com with the show that you want us to review. We'll fucking do it.
Yeah, take that. All right, guys, that's Ring Rust Retro. We got to go on.